Hi, a lot of you have been asking me how to do Lydia's blue sparks, and this video is going to go over how you do them so that hopefully you can apply them more consistently. This video is going to break down 3 different types of blue sparks Lydia has. They're going to be the normal blue sparks, like the 3-2 for example. They're going to be the parry blue sparks, and there's going to be the weird stuff like Blossom and Political Storm and all of that. We're going to start with the easy ones first, which is going to be moves like 3-2. So the blue spark on 3-2 or back 2-3 or cat 2-2 or I didn't get it on that one. All of these have a 3-frame window for you to be able to get the blue spark. So what does that mean? It means that you have to hit the follow-up button within a 3-frame window. But Seth, how do I know what that 3-frame window is? Well, generally speaking, the input window in Bandai Namco fighting games, so that's Tekken and Soul Calibur, is right when the move is going to hit the opponent. So you'll notice if you look at my inputs here when I do 3-2, I hit 2 right around the time I kicked Kazuya in the face. So you have about a 3-frame window to be able to actually get this blue spark to come out. You can see also the timing of my inputs. Generally what I'm doing is after I hit the 3 button, I'm hitting the 2 button 15 to 16 frames after I hit the 3 button. The input window, of course, is 1 more frame than this. You have 3 frames, not 2. So it is a small window, but if you can consistently hit these inputs, then you'll be able to hit the blue spark pretty much every time. The nice thing as well about her blue sparks is that the cat 2-2 is about the same timing as the 3-2. You can see there I hit the second 2 13 frames after hitting the first 2 and I got the blue spark. There I also hit it 13 frames. And there I hit it 14 frames. So it's about a frame skew downwards from what 3-2 is. But just remember again that you're looking for when the move is actually going to hit the opponent. That's the way that you're going to be able to train this. And if you're trying to hit the second button right when you hit the opponent, then that's going to be your timing for the blue spark. Now, back 2-3 is going to be the last move in this category, and it's a little bit different because you have to do the second input a little bit sooner than cat 2-2 and 3-2. You can see there that I hit the 3 on frame 14. There I hit it on frame 13. There again, I hit it on frame 14. And again, what I'm looking for here when I do the back 2 is right when that hits, right when Kazuya is going to lean over and grab his neck from the back 2, that's when I'm hitting the 3, right? But it just gives you an idea. The input window is very tight, but if you're looking for when that hits, it's a little bit late there. But if you're looking for when that move hits, that's going to be the timing for you to hit the second button. Now, this gets a little bit trickier when it comes to Lydia's parries, because her parries have a 2-frame window to be able to input the blue spark. On top of that, because there are multiple hits within the one parry, it makes it very difficult to actually hit the blue spark in these cases. I personally cannot do this consistently. I haven't practiced it, I haven't trained for it, but it's the same concept as the other moves we talked about. So you can see there again, I'm hitting them right when I hit the elbow, but like I said, I can't do this consistently because the input window is so small, and this isn't something I've really trained because I don't use the parries very much because they're not very good. There we go, we did it again. So if you look at my inputs here, you'll see that when I do the up forward 1, I'm waiting about 40 frames before I hit the 2. And there you can see that I waited 41 frames that time, so only a frame later than the last time, and I didn't end up getting the blue spark. So that just goes to show how very fickle the blue spark from the parries are and how hard it is to do. Again, it's not something that I can do consistently. If you practice this enough, then you certainly can, but the timing window is going to be so tight that you're not going to be able to get it every time, especially again if you're not using the parries very consistently and with how niche they are. And you really shouldn't worry too much about the blue spark here. If you can do it, then great, but if you don't do it, then it's no big deal because it's adding a very insignificant amount of damage and you're not needing to do these moves in combos or anything to maximize your damage. To demonstrate here as well, just to show you the parry, Again, we're just hitting the button as soon as the second hit, so they hit right before the last hit lands, and that's when we're putting in the 2. As for the low parry, again, same thing. As soon as we see that kick come out and hit the opponent, then we're hitting the 1 button. There, like that. So then we get to the third set of moves, which don't require timing, but they require core circle forward inputs. So how do you do these? Well, first off, with 4-3-4, this one's super easy. You just do core circle forward 4 instead of 4. Very, very simple. If you're doing that core circle forward as the 4, that's it. That's all you need to do. Very, very easy to do. It's the same as doing normal core circle forward 4. You're just doing this in a string instead. Unless you hit up there like I did, because I'm a bit stupid. Back 3-4, 1+2 is the same thing. 1+2 by itself will do that. You input core circle forward and you get the blue spark and you do a little bit more damage. Now, what's the timing for the core circle forward? Because that's what makes this a little bit different. You want to time the core circle forward after you have hit the 4 button. So you'll see here, if I do this, then it's great, it hits. If I start inputting the core circle forward before I hit the 4, which wasn't there, you can see there, I input the core circle forward before I hit 4, and I didn't get blue spark. So you have to make sure that you're inputting core circle forward after you hit 4. But that's really the only tricky part about this input. And this is the same with Political Storm. 4, 1+2, 3, 1+2. This is, of course, Political Storm for 38. You put a core circle forward in there, it's 43. And this is going to be slightly more difficult than the back 3-4 because with how long it takes for this to come out, if you're doing this just instinctively to try getting it out, you might end up hitting the core circle forward a little bit too early. I do this a lot where I start inputting the core circle forward before I hit 3, and like there, I don't get the blue spot because of that, even though I did the core circle forward input. So you have to make sure that you're hitting the 3 button before you do core circle forward 1+2. It doesn't matter if the 3 is already hit or not. You can see there, I did the core circle forward input before the 3 even hit the opponent. All that matters is that within the input buffer system, you're doing that core circle forward, and that's linking to the 1+2 after you hit the 3 button. And then there's forward, forward, forward 2. Again, really simple. Instead of just doing forward, forward 2, you're doing running 1+2. Now, a tricky thing about this is that it does make the input take more frames to come out. You will get more distance out of it because of the running animation than you would with just forward 2 by itself. You can see there, I do forward 2, but if I do instant while running 2, I didn't even get it there. But if I do... There we go. If I do instant while running 2, I don't know why I wasn't getting it. You see that I get more damage because of the running state, but because it takes more frames to come out, it means that you're going to be more open to getting hit out of it. So you gotta be really careful with that. Don't worry too much about doing the blue spark version or not. Just know that the running version increases the range that you get out of it over the forward 2 version, over the normal version. That's really the only thing that matters here. Don't worry too much about blue sparking it or not blue sparking it. Just worry about the range first and foremost. And when you're doing this move in combos, right, you can obviously do the running version if you feel more comfortable with the standing version, not the standing version, but the non-blue spark version, then just do that in your combo. That's also perfectly fine. And then finally, the elephant in the room is Blossom. This is going to be the one that most people ask about. This is going to be the thing that most people have a problem with. So Blossom is double core circle forward 2. Right, and then the 1+2 is back, forward, 1+2. So what you're doing here, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so take a look at my inputs here, how I do them. So I'm doing the 2-2 almost immediately, and then after doing the 2-2, I'm doing back, forward, 1+2. So this is going to take the same concepts that we had from Political Storm, back 3-4, 1+2, where you want to do that back, forward input after you hit the 2 button. So you can input the 2-2 very quickly. Very quickly, instantaneously, just tap 2 twice. And it'll come out. And then after you tap that 2 the second time, then you want to start immediately doing the back, forward input. Like that. Also remember that the 1+2 can be delayed quite a bit. So if I'm going to delay the 1+2 a lot, it will look something like this. and I'm still going to get the blue spark even if I delay it that much. So you have a ton of time to be able to do that back forward input. You can see that I even waited for the 2 to hit before doing the back forward input, and I had enough time that I was still able to get that blue spark. So the important thing to remember out of this is the double core circle forward, right? Of course, when you first are doing the blue spark, and then just make sure you're doing the back forward 1+2 after you press 2, and remember that you can delay the 1+2 a lot. Now, another question you're going to ask, and it's a very, very valid question, is how do you do it in combos? Because it's one thing to be able to do that in neutral, but how do I have enough time to be able to do the double core circle forward in neutral? Or not in neutral, but how do I have enough time to be able to do the core circle forward in combos? Well, the simple answer is that you input buffer it. So if I'm going to do a very basic combo with Blossom, I'm going to do something like this. Super simple, but you get the idea with the inputs. If you saw there, when I did the double core circle forward, I was doing it during my recovery animation of the screw attack. What's important to remember when it comes to directional inputs in Tekken is that directional inputs have a greater input buffer window than the actual attack buttons. So the actual attack buttons, when you hit them, there's a 7-frame input buffer window in the game. What does that mean? That means that during the recovery animation of an attack, you can input a button 7 frames before you recover, and then the frame you recover, that move will come out. For directional inputs, it's much larger than that, which means you have more time to be able to input that double core circle forward when you're in a combo. So if I'm going into a full combo, it's going to look more something like this. So you're going to notice that right after that screw, when I go in the wolf, that's when I start inputting the double core circle forward, and then I hit 2 within that 7-frame recovery window. The 2-2 will come out, and then I'll have enough time. I'll have more time than if I do it in neutral to be able to start inputting that back forward 1+2, because I'm inputting those first 2 hits within the buffer window of the previous attack that I did the screw. So when we put it all together with Blossom, basically what we're looking at is something like this off of a hotkick. So we do this, and then we do this, and then we're doing that, right? So it's running 2, double core circle forward during the horse 2 input, 2-2, oh, it's double core circle forward, 2-2 during the horse 2 input, and then after we've done that, we're inputting back forward. The animation for the 2-2 is still going on, and then while we're within that input buffer window and we've done the back forward, that's when we hit 1+2, and then we have a blue spark input. It is a lot to remember. It's a lot of mental stack, but very quickly, once it clicks with you, it'll come like second nature, and you will have no problems with it whatsoever. So that is going to be everything on Lidia's blue sparks. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.